Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. We've got a little bit of breaking news coming out of New York. I've been debating on whether or not to comment or post on this just because it's so graphic, it's so grotesque and disgusting and inhumane. Honestly, it just really made me feel sick to my stomach. But I'm hoping to present it in such a way that it will help anyone if they were ever to fall into this particular type of circumstance, which I'm hoping not, but you just never know. And so I'm hoping to present it in a way that it'll help. A woman was set, and not just a woman, a human being was set on fire inside the F train in New York City. A human being, a woman, was set on fire on a train, on the F train in New York City. The woman appears to have been sleeping on the train, resting. Reports are coming out that she was a homeless woman. Nonetheless, that does not matter. A unknown individual at that particular time walked over to this woman, set her on fire, and seemingly walked away. He did stop maybe once to turn back. It looks like to make sure that she was engulfed in flames, which was his intent, obviously. The individual is then seen sitting on the bench outside of the subway, watching the woman. So what it looks like was happening, because a lot of it's coming, we're getting videos that's coming from the train. And as I understand, it's this new technology that the train once didn't have. So even the fact that we were able to catch video and still footage of the suspect really assist in this case, right? So we see the individual walk over, and I'm not going to show the video here. You can catch it on X if you want to, but it's too much for me. I did post a little bit of the stills and blurred out what I possibly could, right? Just so that you can get an understanding. So the individual walked over to the sleeping woman on the train, set her on fire, took a couple of steps, turned back, I'm assuming to make sure that she was truly inflamed, walked off the train, and sat down on a bench in front of the open door on the train. From that point, we see footage from passengers, passerbyers, recording the woman who had at some point got up from her seat and made it, I would say, a good 20 to 30 paces. And I've never been inside of a New York train, but I used to drive mass transportation. So I'm guessing about 20 to 30 paces from her seat to the door. Unfortunately, was not able to make it off and out of the train, and just kind of stood in the doorway as she was burning. Again, the suspect is sitting on the bench and watching her burn. Another unfortunate thing is the people were standing by and recording. I really thought it was common sense and common knowledge too. If you see someone or something burning, you smother the flame. You smother it. You grab an item, maybe if you have a jacket, a scarf, maybe an extra shirt, something. You smother the flame. You smother it by not fanning it, but if you throwing a blanket on it or trying to knock the flame out, kind of like in a hitting motion, not fanning it, but kind of in a hitting motion. If you were ever to be on fire for whatever reason at a bonfire, or things happen. I also thought it was commonplace that you stop, drop, and roll, meaning that if you're caught on fire, you immediately stop so that you're not fanning the flames by your movement. You drop, hit the floor, you're going to cover your face, and you're going to roll. That roll would mimic smothering the flames. So when I saw the woman standing there, my immediate thought was she's in so much pain. Just the fact that she made it from her seat to the door. I was thinking she was in so much immense pain that she couldn't move, that her body was burning in such a way that it had formed to where she couldn't stop, drop, and roll. And then I began to think, well, why didn't she do it from her seat? Well, when you look very closely in the video, again, I'm not going to post it here. It's other places you can find it. But when you look really closely at the video, there looks to be a walker in front of the woman. So then she wouldn't have had, one, she wouldn't have had the ability perhaps to just stop and drop if she's already mobility impaired, right? Perhaps maybe even some cognitive issues. You just never know, right? You're sleeping, all of a sudden you wake up, you're on fire. You're not sure maybe if the train is on fire, so you're doing your best to try to get out of there. Like maybe this place is on fire, so because all at this point, I mean, she was fully engulfed in flames. So maybe, all she sees in front of her, because her clothing, her top's flame, hair is inflamed. It just looks like this train is on fire. Let me get out of this train. So why would I stop, drop, and roll when the train is on fire, not me? I'm assuming maybe that's what she potentially could have been thinking, right? So let me get out of here. So again, what looks like to be a walker in front of her, on the side of her, front left side, she finds a way slowly. I mean, I just can't even imagine the pain that she's in, and that she can't really walk without assistance. Slowly walking to the door and being in so much pain, she can't take one or two more steps to get out of the train. And or perhaps her seeing the suspect who lit her on fire sitting there. Because if you recall, once he set her on fire, I'm assuming it didn't take long. I don't care how sleepy you are. When your body's burning, you're going to come to quickly, right? When he turned to stop and look, and she could look up and see him, either he set me on fire, or he set this place on fire, or he turned and didn't help. He saw the places on fire, and I remember this particular person turned their back and did not help. So when I see them sitting there, when I finally make it to the door, maybe everything came rushing to her. Oh my God, this guy set me on fire. Oh, this, because at some point she starts to see that the place is not on fire, right? Perhaps. Or maybe she sees him sitting there on the bench and she just knew he's not the safe place. He's the one that caused this. Or perhaps the pain was too much to where she could no longer move physically, incapable, already mobility impaired. From the looks of it, I can't move any further. And then imagine hearing the people, oh my God, there's somebody on fire, and look, and nobody helping. Then we see the suspect on the video get up and go fan her. He watches her burn. Then he gets up from the bench where he was watching this woman, this stranger, I just set on fire, burning. And then I go fan her. And the other people are around just like, oh my gosh. And nobody's saying, hey, you don't fan a flame. You got a blanket, hit her, knock those flames out. Nobody. Everyone's just watching and, oh no, look. I'm not going to go over and help, but let's look. That's another thing we've got to get away from in society, is just looking. No, everyone's looking. No one's helping. It's disgusting. You see security personnel just looking. Nobody helping. You can see the woman slowly move what looks to be her left leg when she feels the flames being fanned. Maybe she thought someone was coming to us. I doubt it. Because again, she perhaps saw that this was the suspect, right? But you can see her body and her left leg kind of move once the suspect begins to fan the flames. A slow movement of the left leg, and then it stops. And everyone's just standing around, recording, cursing, in shock. No one has a jacket to take off. No one thought to take the blanket from the suspect. They didn't know he was a suspect at that point. But hey, like come to, oh no, that's not how you do it. Give me the blanket out. Let me knock out the flames. Let me hit the flames. Let me try to help this person. Eventually, fire personnel come, or someone comes with an extinguisher, and I mean, she's pronounced dead on scene. Here's what we know on the alleged suspect so far. He is a Guatemalan illegal immigrant, has been in the States since 2018 by the name Sebastian Zapata. It doesn't appear that he knew the woman at all, had any interaction with her at all. He just walked over to her, saw a sleeping person on the train, and lit her on fire, walked away and sat as the authorities arrived. Grabbed a fire extinguisher and, put the flames out. But unfortunately, she did succumb to her injuries on scene. She died on the train. They put out the information for the individual. He was still on the train. That point, some few hours later, three teenagers noticed him, called it in, and here's the next thing that we see happening.
Oh my God.
Hey, back.
Can I get out?
Come on, one by one. Go that way.
That's right. So they have the guy in custody. So we're looking for those charges to come out pretty soon here, thanks to the work of those three teenagers that saw him. Like they always say, if you see something, say something. And so they saw something and they called it in, and the guy has been apprehended. So that's absolutely great news. I'm going to post some informational videos at the end. If you're ever in this situation for whatever reason, don't forget to stop, drop, and roll. If you see somebody or you see something on fire, do make attempts, if you can safely, to put the fire out by smothering the fire. And I'm going to leave this recording here, a video from the Easton Fire Department over in Easton, Massachusetts. They make a wonderfully quick and efficient video that's very informative, that will assist you or anyone that you love, know, care about, a stranger, what have you. That'll be of great assistance and just refreshing your memory on what to do if you're ever in that particular situation. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you'd like. And thanks for watching.
Get fire on your clothes. And we always get a couple answers, different answers in the classroom. So if you get fire on your clothes, you need to stop, drop, cover, and roll. Can everyone say that with me? Stop, drop, cover, and roll. Okay? And it's very important you do this because we use water to put out fire. It's what we carry in all of our fire trucks, and it seems like a reasonable thing to say. I'm going to go and get a bucket of water and dump it on my clothes that are on fire. But if you run to go get water, you're going to give that fire air, and that fire is going to grow. So it's very important that we stop, drop, cover, and roll, and that will smother the fire and put it out. Lieutenant McCormick, can you demonstrate that for me? So he's going to stop, drop, he covers his face, and he's going to